We are going to do a quick technical analysis focused on the long term. Now, you are looking at the Bitcoin chart and observe how its tokenization is generally within a macro bullish channel. Let's take a long-term X-ray to remember where we come from to then be able to understand where we can go. Initially, from the birth of Bitcoin until approximately November 2020, we can say that it was a fairly long stage where large institutions were patiently accumulating long positions. As you can see, in November 2020 is when the strong bullish impulse began. A bullish impulse that sought a replica, which, in other words, went to find its harmonic that failed completely. And you know what happens when the search for a harmonic is not proportional and fails in length. In these types of contexts is when we can look for an opposite guideline. In this case, we place it and clearly find it in this area, and that is when we are going to believe in its break. Here we are faced with a black swan, an unexpected event of gigantic repercussions since it was on May 2, 2022, when it was decided that the cryptocurrency market was going to experience a bear market. This bear market was driven, and redundantly, by a bearish impulse that was continued with a bearish channel that ended with a range to finish with a bearish climactic action. You know that at Crypto Insight we are obsessed with this type of formations, since we find them in all financial markets. And ultimately, this bearish climactic action tends to be the final and aggressive last movement of a whole distributive process promoted by large institutions. Wow, we are not saying anything that we were not saying in the Crypto Insight videos around this time, understanding the context that we have experienced a final and aggressive bearish climactic action. Here we were also analyzing where the creek could pass. Of course, initially, we were visualizing it at this level, but later we were forced to relocate it. Here, what we are seeing is that after an aggressive final bearish climactic action, smart money set out to accumulate long positions. And look how they broke the creek, another black swan, in this case positive and favorable for the price, which they did not have any need to make any kind of visit to the creek, but rather they broke with strong aggressiveness and directly went upwards. Here, sincerely, what we were expecting and what was also expected was that the price would react to the origin of the breakout, because remember that we were coming from a macro distribution that produced a black swan. And we know that when the price sooner or later returns to the origin of the breakout, which we track with the broken guideline, normally at these points we get a reaction in the market, since it was plausible to consider that, regarding this bearish impulse, we were experiencing a corrective pattern that could be ending in a Z that would have gone to find the bearish harmonic, which we were already betting on its failure, to then give the movement that we ended up getting. But as we can be observing, an unexpected event occurred. And look how smart money had the urgent need to break through the opposite structure with great strength and aggressiveness, since otherwise it would have been impossible for them to move the price against its own nature. Obviously, these kinds of events can happen, contrary to what the institutional market itself demands. This, of course, happens rarely, but it does happen. And when it happens, we see the consequences, major ones. There is a great explosion in the market contrary to expectations. We are once again facing a black swan. Now that we understand what has historically happened in the Bitcoin chart and understanding that structurally we are facing an impulse and that the price is being given continuity with a macro bullish channel, it is now when we are going to focus on what is happening at these points on the chart. If we zoom in a little, here we are going to assess the following. Remember that here is the top of the macro bullish channel, that we are coming from a strong bullish impulse, and that now the price is being followed with a bullish channel. We know that smart money, after producing a strong impulse, follows with this form of support. A bullish channel in its favor, the structure that large institutions usually work with, and going down to a lower time frame than the 4-hour time frame. Let's emphasize the following event we have drawn here. Remember that this guideline is Bitcoin's macro bullish channel, and here you must ask yourself the following question. How is it possible that we have come so close to such a key structural level after reaching a historic high, and we have stayed just a breath away from touching that structure? How is this possible? Well, of course, there is the hypothesis and the scenario in which we never reach that structure. But for the moment, and thinking about the formation I explained to you before, in which smart money continually moves prices with an impulse followed by a channel, ending the movement with a range, down to produce an aggressive final and tricky climactic action. This is when we bring to the table the idea of thinking that this gap will be closed. Frankly, it is impossible to know with total certainty that this will happen, but this is just a map. And now I'm going to explain to you how you are going to be able to navigate through this map, and you will see how it will not be at all necessary to pretend to predict what will happen next with the quotations. And I explain this to you right now. But first, welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, together, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity. Let's zoom in. Well, if we have said that it is key to prioritize this microstructure, which is this bullish channel, let's also visualize the following. Here they may have set a click for us. I'm talking about the price level of $71,456. About this click, we can speculate that in the area of $65,000, we can have a defensive zone. A level that smart money in the scenario of wanting to push the price upwards can seek to defend and protect in order to push the price upwards. Because yesterday live with the colleagues from Crypto Insight, we already analyzed the volume and the behavior that we are seeing in this range. I'm not going to go into detail here, but I will tell you that we have perceived absorption in the lower areas of the range, which means that the sales have been completely frustrated. Then the essential ingredient to eventually be positive in the Bitcoin chart. So, if we consider this range as a reaccumulation process, at least with the simple goal of seeking a climactic action that takes us to around 78. We will take into account that many times smart money, when finishing a bullish accumulation process, we see that before breaking the cry, they generate a trend line inside it just before causing the true breakout. And now we are going to talk about this concept. But first, we must understand that here we have a bearish impulse, that here we also have its W, that this can be a poor I, and that we could expect regarding a complex corrective pattern, which, remember, complex corrective patterns generate a W, a poor E like the one we have here, and then generate a Z, which one of its variants is to be explosive and contrary to the preceding bearish impulse. Under this theory, what we are saying is that the Zaz could be here, referring to this bearish impulse. In the end, we have many ingredients because remember, impulse channel, range, climactic action. We also have an accumulation process that we detect absorptions to then be able to go up. And we have a zeta as a corrective pattern. Of course, all this is pure speculation. Here nobody has a crystal ball nor the absolute truth, and we will not always be right with our hypotheses. But frankly, that is 100% irrelevant when trading since our great obsession. And now going down to a lower time frame is to understand price structure and identify under these hypotheses that we are proposing at what key levels we will be able to enter in one direction or another to support a very measured risk, seeking a broader benefit. All of this, of course, we work on in the live sessions that we carry out in Crypto Insight. Since in Crypto Insight we go down to lower time frames such as 1 hour charts or even lower. And look, for example, in one of the last live sessions when we were analyzing the Ethereum chart that you are now seeing on the screen, when we saw Ethereum at this price level, what we were considering was to wait for the price to specifically rise above this point and then at this precise level look for a short operation. Because why not try to sell a trap? A pump trap is sold with the hypothesis of searching for the harmonic. This bloss is very tight. We try to locate these types of opportunities that you have just seen, that we have seen in Ethereum daily in multiple assets. And I have to tell you that now we are focusing a lot on artificial intelligence, or at least we are starting to focus on it, with the aim of giving it a very close and daily follow-up to take advantage of the breakthrough that the artificial intelligence market is having, which we consider to be in an extremely incipient stage. Regarding Bitcoin, as a summary, I will tell you that we have approached the top of a bullish channel that they have been unable to come into contact with, which surprises us. Regarding this bullish impulse, we have identified its channel, the structure that smart money works with, which leads us to speculate that at some point there may be a bullish climactic action, an idea that is supported by the concept of experiencing a bearish impulse that has its corrective pattern, which may come to look for, we will see how, IZ, which at the same time, we have identified that in this range, sellers are being absorbed, an idea that promotes a positive thought for its quotation. Here we have several ingredients to think about. We don't know if to fly, but at least to reach the top of the channel. In other words, the $78,000 that closed the gap of the top of the macro channel. And here, we will see what we can expect. And if you want more details on what we think about how prices will move in lower time frames to take advantage of intraday futures trading. And if you like this video, let me know in the comments. Also, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future uploads. And as usual, if you want to help us grow this channel, share our content. Share this video with your friends and other trading and cryptocurrency communities. Good luck with your trading and see you next time.